Okay, hello again. Sorry to cut you in the first video as I am trying to limit each video to 10 minutes only. But anyway, let's continue. So now we have a variable that hold each range in our loop, and then the next thing that we need to do is get the first telephone number within each range. Okay, so in doing that, we need to declare a variable first that will hold that value. So I will name this the what name should I use? First range or first tn string. So let's put an initial value to that. Let's set it to null. So my first tn is okay. So how are we going to do that? So I will introduce you to the what they call function left. So what the left function do is it allows you to extract a substring from a string from the leftmost character. Since this is a standard example, as you can see that they are following the same format, we can here see that the all first telephone number for each range is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 characters. So using the left function, I first tn is equals to left, and again what is the string that you want to use, so that's my range, and then we'll put here the number of characters that we want to capture or we want to get from that string. So if you will try this using F8 in your keyboard, so the first tn is actually correct because it follows a standard format. So let's try to use our loop, and you can see that it captured correctly each first telephone number per range. So I think we're good now with the first range or with the first telephone number. So the next goal is to get the of course the last tn within each range. So let's declare another variable, and then let's assign or set the value to null as its initial value. But okay, for this one, we cannot capture easily the last telephone number because here in our range it's only 4. We need the complete 10 characters as well. And how to do that is we need to get first the first 6 character on the first telephone number, and then using the concatenate function we will concatenate these 4 characters. So I hope I was able to explain that clear, but just watch me on how I'm going to do that. So dim last characters a string, so this will hold the 4 characters. So let's set the value to null as well. So last core, so using the right string function of Vba, it simply allows you to extract a substring from a string starting from the rightmost character. So my range is equals to 4. Okay, so what this function will do is to get the last 4 character within the range that within the string that we are using. So if you will try this using F8, so I hope it captured the correct 4 digits. So I think it's working as expected. And now we need to capture the 6 characters here, so we can concat it on the last 4 characters, and then we can make our last telephone number. So I think I need to declare another variable here which per scars. So first scores, let's use the left function again, and then by this time we'll be just getting the first 6 character. So we have now the last scars and first character, but I think it's better to test it first. So it's 1 1 2 3 4 5. That's correct. And 4 2 4 3 2. Okay. So now once we have the last 4 characters and the first 6 characters, we can now concatenate them and then assign it to our last tn variable. So last tn is equals to first course concatenate. You can do the concatenate by using the ampersand symbol, and then last course. So let's try it. And now we have the first tn and the last tn. So once you have that, we can now get the list. But I think the first thing that we should do is to get the count of telephone number within this range. And since both our variable is in string data type, we cannot use a subtraction operation. So what we need to do is to convert them into a number variable data type. So we need to declare another variable here, which I will call, we have used the first tn, so I'll just use start tn as double. I'll be using double for safety. I think it's better to use that than the other number like integer and variable, since we are dealing with telephone numbers. But I'm not actually sure how many characters the double data type can hold, but I think this is a larger variable compared to long in an integer. So let's assign an initial value of 0 and then the last tn as of course double as well, and let's assign same initial value, which is 0. So what we're going to do is to convert this to convert the value of this variable from string into a double data type. So as you can see here, when we try to run our, okay, I have an error. Dim lesson is double. So what's the problem? Okay, so I had used that variable already, so I'll be using ntn as its name. So using f8, I'll just want to show you how our first tn value and last tn value looks right now. So if you can see in our first tn, the value or the first number is currently within a quote or double quote because they are currently under a data type or under a string data type. So once we convert that into a double data type, there should be no longer the quote there. So how to convert that? We will be using the cdbl VBA function. So what this function do is just to convert a value to a double. So to do that, let's use this variable is equals to cdbl, and then what is the value or what is the variable that you want to convert. So for start tn, that should be the first tn, and for the ntn is equals to cdbl or convert to double last tn. If you want to convert a variable from a string data type to a long, so we will be just using clng or clong, and then if you want to convert it to integer, you will be using cin, but this time it should be double. So right now let's test it. So from this value, you can see now that the double quote has been eliminated, and now it's already a double data type. So the next objective is to get the count of tn's for each range. So in order to do that, we'll just need to, let's declare a variable count tn's as long, and let's give it an initial value of 0. So count tn is equals to ntn minus start tn, and we need to add 1. So let's try that. But before we try that, let's add this code wherein it should put here whatever the count is. So since that's column B, So my sh dot range b and a dot value is equals to whatever the value of our count Tn variable. So let's test that. Okay, I'm pressing F9 instead of F8. So let's hit F8. And okay, so the count of Tn on our first range is 12. Okay, and 57 on the next one, plus 2, and now the last one is 579, and it ends the program. So okay, so I think we're good now here. Okay, so the next thing is to get the list of telephone numbers. So we need to create, I think, another loop. But here, instead of the for loop, I will be using a do until loop. So do until start Tn is equals or greater than last end Tn. So what will happen is that start Tn will increment. Oops. Plus 1. And then whatever the value of the start Tn should be put in here. But I think we need to declare another variable that will check what is the first available row in our column C. So we need to declare a variable here that we already have the L row. So I think let's use what row as long. So here is every time we did the loop, the what row variable should change the value of it as well. So what row is equals to my sh cells. Right now we will be dealing with column C, so that's index of 3, rows that count, and 3, and xlab that row. And we need to add plus 1, because if we will not be adding 1, it will just give you the last row with value. So if we run that without the plus 1, it will give you 1, and we don't want to put the value here. So we want to put the value on the next available row. So oops, my sh that range C, and whatever the value of our what row variable, that value is equal to start Tn. Okay, so I think that this is all what we just need. Why I have an immediate window here. I think I can now run it. So let's try it. I'll be using F8 again. And then the first value of start Tn in our variable is the first number in our range. So it should be put there. Then the next one. Okay, so I think it's doing it correctly. So oops, how many? Oh, okay, I think it's done with the first loop, and it create total of 12 numbers as the count showed here. And as we can see, the start telephone number in this range is 6789, and the last telephone number should be 6800, which is correct. So I'll be using F5 to finish this program, and let's see what happens. So for the next range, it's a total of 57. So 57. Okay, so I think it ends here, and it is correct. So basically, that is just what we need to accomplish in this example. But I think we need to add buttons instead of running it using the VBA environment. So let's just add a simple shape in here. So let's name it. Okay, I prepared this one and another one. Let's go. thread. Let's name it start. Let's name it clear. Okay. So here is where we will assign the get tns code. So just hit OK. And then for the clear, so for the clear, every time I press this, I want all the value here should be cleared. So in order to do that, let's highlight this two column first, starting in row 2, and then press Control Shift arrow down until you get on the last row, and then let's name this range clear tns. Okay, and make sure to copy that name, and let's create here another sub. So we'll name it sub clear tns, and then let's just use workbook that sheets, the name of that worksheet, that range, and then the name of the range that we just did, the clear contents. So if you will use that, if you press that, it simply clear the range that we named. And let's just assign that marker to this button. So okay, so let's start and clear, start and clear, start and clear. So I hope you get the basic idea on how to make a tool like this. But on the next video, I will show you a more complex example, because as you can see in our range here, they are following the same format. But what if you are given a range of telephone number which has a different format? So how you will be dealing with that? For this example, we just use the left, right functions, and of course the cdbl. But on the next video, we will be using another string functions, which is actually useful in dealing with many things for VBA. So I hope you still watch the next video, because I will promise you will learn another things on that. So that's all for this one. Thank you for watching.